Okay, so I just spent the entire length of the Death Grips album, The Money Store, getting my Pokemon up to level 8, with the exception of Odds, you may notice. The reason for that is that Odds is fucking worthless. See, I thought level 8 was a pretty good level to be at in this area. Obviously, I feel like I should have already been at this level before the whole, realizing that my Pokemon weren't leveling up thing. So, like, level 8 seems like it's reasonable for dealing with the trainers and Pokemon around this area. So I figured I'd get them all up to that level. But fucking Odds, the Purloin. Purloin sucks dick. She's very fast, but has, like, no attack and no defense. So, she was dying to Pokemon that were, like, 2 or 3 levels lower. And I quickly ran out of potions out of my impatience to run back to the fucking Pokemon Center every single time I needed to. And I also ran out of money because I wasn't fighting any trainers. I was trying to do all my grinding through just wild Pokemon battles, which was not hard with any of the other Pokemon. But I sat there with Purloin for like 20 fucking minutes and couldn't even get her up to level fucking 8. Like, it was ridiculous how hard it is to train Purloin because her only real means of attack is Scratch, which barely does shit, and then she also has Assist, which is not that great either. Because Assist just pulls like a random attack from one of your other Pokemon, which at this point in the game is like Tackle, Bite if I'm lucky, Bide if I'm unlucky. So anyways, I was training all these Pokemon up. I already beat this guy, and I think I had lost to the rival, right? She was like up here. In any case, I got a bunch of my Pokemon leveled up. Did want to address the fact that I've got Andrew WK here, which is a female Pokemon. But that makes total sense because Andrew WK, the real person, wrote the song We're All Women, which is about how, I guess genders don't matter and we're all really the same person. The song goes, we're all women and men. He's a girl, she's a boy. The same needs, the same wants for love and joy. It's a good song. You should listen to it. Andrew WK is really good at like making a song epic in the span of like 3 minutes. It's pretty cool for stuff like that. I love Andrew WK. He's one of my role models. I've always said that I wanted to have if I ever, like, made a wall of my role models, it would just be the two Andrews, Andrew WK and Andrew Hussey. Those are my, the two people I would base my life around. Andrew WK because of his ethos, and Andrew Hussey because of his work ethic. I was also fascinated to realize as I was training up all my Pokemon and having the time to like process what's going on in the game that there's a little clock on the screen that tells you what time it is. I'll tell you right now, if you think that I'm A, awake and B, this drunk at 3:51 p.m., then you don't know me that well, buddy boy. Obviously, it's almost 4 in the morning. I had some of my crock pot that I've been cooking about an hour ago before I started training up my Pokemon. That was pretty delicious. I'll probably go back for another bowl of it as soon as I end this episode. But I had to, get something done after 45 minutes of nonstop training. Tepig is definitely weak to Mijumaru, and he can get up to level 14. So, well, this is a good opportunity to gain some levels, and Andrew WK is pretty fucking good. I like him. Although, the faster I level him up, the faster I have to get rid of him. See, I wanted to talk a little bit about how these, like, a run of the game where you capture every Pokemon works. Because I don't think a lot of people have actually done it. And it's actually super cutthroat and really involves rotating your Pokemon constantly. Because basically you always need to have all 6 of your slots in use. Because like any Pokemon you have that's unevolved, the best way to get the evolved version is to level it up and evolve it. So as soon as a Pokemon evolves, you pretty much immediately get rid of it and switch out to a Pokemon that's not evolved yet. So, like, you know, whereas I feel like most people are constantly trying to get evolved Pokemon so that they have, you know, because evolved Pokemon have better stats. As a person trying to catch every Pokemon, you're constantly going to be cycling out your evolved Pokemon, never using them. So, yeah, I think that's an interesting version of the game that makes it maybe more challenging than people realize. That you don't ever want to have evolved Pokemon on your team, and you want to constantly be switching them out. In a way, it's like the opposite of a Nuzlocke, because in a Nuzlocke, it's all about becoming attached to the individual Pokemon. You can only catch so many, and when you catch them, then, like, you know, you really have this emotional bond, because if they die, then you're fucked. The more Pokemon you lose, then the less chances you have of making it through the whole game with any Pokemon. But if you're doing this run, then you view Pokemon basically as extremely temporary, and you want to be rid of them as fast as possible. Your goal with every Pokemon is to evolve it and get rid of it, and cycle into the next one. Because it will take you a fucking eternity to evolve every Pokemon. And typically, in the games, you catch Pokemon early on that don't take long to evolve, and then later into the game, you'll catch, like, a Pokemon that's already level 30, but then it evolves at, like, level 40, you know? So, like, you're always catching Pokemon that are at a level where they will evolve before you catch the next wave. So, like, the 4 guys I have right now probably all evolve before level 20, and then they probably don't have a second or a third evolution. Like, I don't think any of these 3 has a third evolution. The only one who does is the starter, because the starter is meant to stay on your team for a long time. And since it has a type advantage, whereas the rest of these are just like normal types, then, you know, it's useful to have on your team all the way up to level 30 something. But these 3, as soon as they evolve, I will immediately get rid of them and replace them with whatever's on the next route. So this is a very, like, utilitarian, my Pokemon don't fucking matter type run of the game, which I think is just as interesting as a Nuzlocke. But, you know, maybe that's speaking from the place of someone who's not so much trying to make the game challenging by way of battles, but to make it interesting by way of actually catching everything. And, you know, the reason that I decided to do this instead of a Nuzlocke, because I was talking to Mumkey, and he was saying how, like, he loves watching Nuzlockes even from inexperienced people, because it's really entertaining to watch people, you know, lose all their Pokemon and die. And I totally get why that would be entertaining, but what I don't want to do is to play a Nuzlocke where I end up training like a fucking Rattata. You know, like, I think it sucks that I've watched, you know, I'm watching Mumkey play through Fire Red and Crystal, and I'm watching Ben Saint play through White 2 or Black 2 or whichever one it is. And in all of those, they all have caught a Rattata, and they all have Eradicate, and that's always on their team because it's something you catch very easily. It's super common. You always end up with it, and it has some pretty good attacks. In Mumkey's runs of both Fire Red and fucking Crystal, he ended up with a Graveler as one of his main guys through the entire game. Like, I don't want that, you know? I don't want to end up with the same old guys I've had before. Now, ironically, I picked Pokemon White, which is a game where you don't run into a lot of the Gen 1 or Gen 2 Pokemon for a long time. Oh shit, I did not realize I was challenging him to a battle. So, like, this is the one game where I probably could have Nuzlocked without ever having to catch a Rattata or something. Like, the first Pokemon I got was Steely Dan, or, wait, was it Steely Dan or Andrew WK? So, like, I don't know, I probably could have made it through this. This is not a good matchup. Let's try sending out Andrew. You know, I probably could have done Nuzlocke of this game a lot more easily. Because before I played it, I looked it up, because I was pretty sure that this gen didn't have any of the previous gen Pokemon. Like, I remember thinking that when I played the game. When I looked it up online, it seemed like it did have some of the previous gen Pokemon, so I became less interested in doing a Nuzlocke, though now that I'm playing it, it seems like they don't show up early or often enough that it would be a problem. But even still, like, I've wanted to play through all the Pokemon games and catch all the Pokemon anyways, just because I had so much fun doing it in Pokemon Y and Pokemon Fire Red. And I really feel like it's the way the games are intended to be played, especially the early ones. Like, I really feel like they're designed around the idea that you switch out oh, shit, Andrew is... he fucking died. Okay. I really feel like these games are designed around the idea of you switching Pokemon out of your party constantly and, like, getting to do stuff. Like, obviously you don't have to do that. You can have your core team. You can have your main 6. And you can have your fucking, your starter who's overpowered. But, I think changing out Pokemon constantly keeps it always interesting because you're never using the same Pokemon for too long. You know, you're always learning new movesets and figuring out what some other Pokemon can do. Oh wait, I was going to switch to Andrew WK because Purloin is fucking useless against it. If my battles against random ones have been any indication, but you know, I'm no more scared of this one. How are you gonna assist when you don't have another Pokemon even in your party, you dumb shit? But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a fun way to play. Bite, apparently. Okay, I'm guessing that thing is dark type. Like, I haven't actually checked the types on it, but I'm guessing Purloin is a dark type Pokemon. So dark type moves probably not the best against it. But yeah, hopefully this run will be interesting for people. Obviously, I am going to have Pokemon dying on me all the time. But what's going to make it challenging is going to be the gym battles, which is usually what you're looking for in a Nuzlocke anyways. And let's be frank, if I was doing a proper Nuzlocke, I would lose so fast that it would not even be entertaining. Like, I feel like if someone loses in a Nuzlocke on, like, Gym 6, that's a good dramatic arc, right? Like, they really struggled, they tried their best, and then they died at, like, a beautiful moment. They go out in a blaze of glory. I would die by Gym 1. I might not even make it to Gym 1. I don't think that would even be entertaining. It would just be, like, a little haha joke, you know, to pass 15 minutes of your day. It's not worth it. I'd rather do something that's better fitting to my playstyle and to what I want to, you know, to do in a Pokemon game, which is to not have to use any fucking Raticates. Hey, is that Dent? Oh, it is. I'm not gonna face you now, dude. I gotta train up a little bit, dude. You're at level fucking 12 and 14. I gotta get my Pokemon up to snuff. I haven't been keeping track of the time of this episode. It got confusing when I had to spend 40... Oh, I got a Dust Ball. It got confusing when I had to spend 45 minutes training my fucking Pokemon up to try to keep track of how much time I've been recording. I don't think I went into this house yet. Oh, there's a Pokeball down there. How do I get that Pokeball? I want that Pokeball down there. Okay, I think I see the entrance. Just right over here. Yeah! Yeah, give me the Pokeball. It's an X speed. Yeah. I'll probably never use it, but I want to have it. This is another thing I like that got introduced in the later Pokemon games is stuff like I'm in the town and then there's just this nice little offshoot area with like a little bird thing and a fountain. I really appreciate all of the like extra flourishes they put into the later Pokemon games, like just to make them feel a little bit more alive. Look, there's a Pikachu. There's a Pikachu plant there, and like probably a Pidgey or whatever. Hey, there's a Pokeball. I got a Great Ball. I got a Great Ball. You know, I like that stuff. It brings the world to life. It makes the you know, the first games, they feel great. They're tightly paced. They're fun. They got great, memorable Pokemon. But I feel like the world wasn't that interesting in those early games, you know? They just didn't have that, like the places you went were just all kind of identical. Like, every town was just the same town. You only really knew the difference because they all were named after colors and usually were literally all that color. So, if you were playing on the Game Boy Color. So, like, you know, I have that feeling like those early games... just didn't capture the world setting design the way that these later games do, where you go into a town and like that town has its own personality and its own little landmarks, and the gyms are usually more interesting starting from like this game onward. They really put more effort into the gyms. So yeah, although I don't want to challenge this gym yet, maybe I could fight the intro trainers if there are any. Hey, it's that Professor Oak's assistant guy. Clyde! Hello, I'm Clyde. I'm the guide for trainers challenging the Pokemon Gym. We appreciate your challenging the gym. Take this to commemorate the occasion. I don't know why I went for like this surfer dude voice when nothing he's saying sounds like it fits that voice. Oh, it's a restaurant, right? Because that's where, I don't think they have any extra... I don't think they have any extra trainers here. I think it's just you go and... Or maybe they do? Well, I chose water, so... Oh, I see, because the door was fire, so... There's a gym guy. Alright, let's fight this random waiter. He's only got one Pokemon. And it's a Lillipup, which is not... Oh, he's level 11. That's a little worrying. Might have to just train my Pokemon against random other wild guys for a little bit before I take on this gym. Oh, that didn't do shit. Ugh, I don't like this. Your advantage in Pokemon is always just that the AI is fucking stupid. They never just take the easy route of just using their strong attacks and killing you. They always try to do some other weird bullshit. But, like, I mean, because I think that's why when I was a kid, I always thought that, like, all the, like, extra shit, all the other attacks, like, you know, like Tail Whip and stuff, I always thought they were totally useless. Because when your opponent uses them, they fucking die. You just destroy your opponent in, like, the computer in no effort after they use, like, 4 Tail Whips. And you, like, I always knew that the reason I won is that my opponent just used a bunch of bullshit attacks and didn't actually fucking fight me. But then, like, as an adult, I realized that those moves do have a purpose. It's just that the computer's just not using them right. Like, if they were using them at good timing and, like, you know, if they used 1 or 2 Tail Whips and then just attacked you the rest of the time, they'd be fine. But it's when they use like 17 Tail Whips in a row and you just fucking destroy them that you realize that the computer's fucking stupid. Although this one's giving a rerun for my money, but Mijumaru still wins like a fucking boss. I did have to use 2 items to keep him alive. I have not implemented any kind of item rule, although I have kept myself completely broke and not able to afford any new items, so maybe that will be an item rule all by itself. I'm telling you, you cannot expect me to be great at this game. I'm not gonna make this super hard. I mean, I don't know what the audience's expectation is. I don't know if you guys have watched a bunch of Nuzlockes. I'm coming off of having watched Mumkey play, who is amazing at these games and can make unbelievable challenge runs look easy. And I've also watched Ben Saint, who, after watching Mumkey, studied a bunch so that he could do a similar challenge run himself. I'm not out here to make the game super hard. I'm out here to make it fun for me. And fun for me is not necessarily the most difficult game in the universe. But anyway, that's going to end episode 4 probably, because I haven't really been measuring time that well, and I'm hungry, so I want to eat some more. And then I'll get back to this in a bit. I can't believe I have 4 hours already.